loves, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video we are going to learn how to make this beautiful female shirts. It's actually a school uniform. So without further ado, let's get into the video. By the way, my name is Grace. As you have seen, I'm folding this fabric into two. I'm dividing our hip circumference by 4 plus 5-inch extra. I'm going to readjust to get exact what I want. After this, I'm going to measure 1 inch, which will be my starting line, exactly 1 inch. So I will connect it with a straight line. After that, I'm going to mark the length of this dress, which is 26 inch and 26 inch. Yeah. Plus 1 inch for stitching allowance, which is 27 inch respectively. I'm going to mark at this folded edge where there is no opening. I'm marking 3 inch, and that will be a space for our button. I will connect it with a straight line. I'm marking our bust point measurement, our waist, and I will repeat it again to have a straight line. At this bust point, I'm going up by 2 inch, and this will be a chest line. For the width of my neck, I mark 3 inch. For the depth of my front inch, I mark 3 inch. So definitely I'm using 3 by 3, and for the depth of my back neck is 1 inch. I mark my shoulder measurement plus half an inch for joining allowance. I will connect it to the chest line. I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and I connect it back to that neck line. I'm finding the midpoint of this line, go in by ½ inch, and connect it back to the shoulder line and to the chest line. For the back armhole, I will connect that midpoint to the chest line, and that will be for the back, and this is for the front. I'm dividing as bust circumference by 4 plus 2 inch. I'm dividing at the waist by 4 plus 2 inch, the hip by 4 plus 2 inch. Then I will connect it up to the chest line. At this side seam, I'm going to go up by 2 inch, and I blend it to the center of my shirt. So I'm going to add ½ inch at the shoulder line. That is my joining allowance. Before cutting our neckline, I fold that button space inward. I pin it so that I will use it to cut my back piece. The back will be unfold, so make sure the edge of your front piece align with the back piece. I had 1 inch at that my shoulder line, and I'm connecting it. Reason is because the back of the shirt is always longer than the front of the shirt. So I'm cutting exactly what I have now. That 1 inch we added, we are going to mark it and remove it before we cut our neckline and the armhole. So I'm marking it out now, exactly 1 inch. I'm cutting it out. I'm done doing that. So we are opening our button space now. I will notch it to know where it stops. After notching, we are going to fold this button space like this and stitch it down. The notch will help us to know where it stops. After this, we are going to trim any excess at the neckline we have. Look at what we have here. It's very beautiful. When we iron it, it will come out very neat. We are cutting the excess out now. After this, we are bringing in the shoulder measurement. We are going to join the shoulder of our back and our front together like this. After that, I will top stitch. As you can see, I've top stitched. I'm cutting out the excess. The back armhole and the front armhole to get the midpoint. I notch it. Notch it. Please, it's very important because the front, that joining allowance is not the center because of the that adjustment we make at the shoulder. So ensure that you mark it. After this, I'm going to work on my pocket. Yeah, I'm going to attach my pocket. This is my pocket. I'm done doing that. It's looking very beautiful. So now we will measure our sleeve. We mark the starting point. We are going to mark 20 inch, sorry. So I'm going to minus 3 inch from this sleeve. I will mark 20 inch plus 1 inch for stitching allowance. I'll come down by 4 inch, and after this I'm going to make a kind of curve. I input the around armhole measurement plus stitching allowance. I'm going to curve it now. I'm going to mark the elbow measurement, which is 8 inch, and I will place a elbow measurement plus stitching allowance, the angle measurement plus 1 inch for that, and extra allowance for stitching, extra 2 inch for stitching allowance. I'm cutting it out. After cutting it out, we are going to use it as a pattern to cut the remaining side of our sleeve. I'm notching it or marking it out. That is the center of my sleeve. so that it will match with the center of our shade. I place it on top of each other again. I will mark 5 inch. That 5 inch will be a slit. We are going to add a slit to the sleeve. So I mark 2.5 from the edge, from that folded side. I'm cutting it out. Please, this cutting is only on one side. I notch the both side. I'm going to fold 1.5 inch in form of bias like this and pipe that slit down. Make sure you push it in and stitch it down. Very simple. I'm about to cut the remaining part of my sleeve, so I measure 9 inch for the width and 3 inch for the length, and I curve one side. I curve one side like this out. You can make it straight, it's optional, but I want that place to be curved. So I'm going to place it on my fabric and add half inch. After ironing, I'm going to add half inch all around, and that will serve for this, to serve as a stitching allowance. I'm going to add half inch for stitching allowance all around. When I'm done doing that, I will flip it, cut it on fold, so that I will have both the lining and the main fabric together as shown. In total, I will have what I just did. I'm doing for only one sleeve, so you use that to cut. In total, you have 4 pieces. I measure around my neckline and I got about 20 inch, so I'm going to cut my collar stand face. I mark 1.5 for the height of my collar stand. Then that measurement I got, I'm going to divide it by 2 and place it, and that will be the length of our collar stand and collar itself. Reason why we divide by 2, this material is unfold, this paper stay is unfold. We are dividing that again into 2. We'll mark the center to get the center of it. So we are going to mark half inch, blend it to the center of that collar stand. Very simple. So now I'm going to mark the collar itself. I make use of 2.5 for the collar. I'm going to connect it. The collar stand and the collar itself will have the same length measurement, so I'm labeling it. At that edge, I'm going in by 1/3. I will connect it to the edge, I will connect it upward to that edge. That will help the collar to come out very pointy. You can decide to make curve at that part. At that center point, I'm coming in by 1 inch. I will blend it back to that pointy part. This part is optional, you can leave it like that, but I want to curve mine. For the collar stand, I'm giving it a very tiny curve, not something serious. Yeah, like this. I'm going to stress out this with my marker for you to really see what I do. It's very simple. After then, I'm going to cut it out. Look at it, very nice. I'm going to separate it. Separate the collar and the collar stand. I will place it on my material. I add ½ inch all round and cut it out. And before cutting it out, I will cut it on folds. That edge I'm showing is where I'm going to stitch that curvy side for the collar stand. I've been one side of my collar. Look at it, it's looking very beautiful. I'm notching the midpoint of it. I will sandwich my collar in between the two collar stand and stitch it down. Guys, just watch what I'm doing. I felt I'm not explaining it very well. Just look what I'm doing. It's very simple. I'm notching the midpoint of my collar. I place it. The collar is in between the two collar stand. So I will stitch it down from the midpoint to that side and from the midpoint. You see, I'm done doing that. I also notch the center. I notch the center of my neckline. So I will stitch from one center to the other line and from one center to the other line. This is how I'm going to attach it. Very simple. I've done doing this. See, it's looking very beautiful. I'm going to flip it like this and top stitch. For this top stitching, guys, I prefer you top stitch on the front of this sheet, not the back, so that you have a very neat and straight line. I'm done doing that. It's looking very beautiful. Now is the time to work with a sleeve. Yeah, so I've go ahead and join the side seam of my sleeve. I pipe that slit opening. I've also stitched down my angle, that thing that is a band to the sleeve. I've stitched it down. I'm going to match the side together because we added 1 inch extra, so we are going to have excess. That excess will serve as a dart. That excess will serve as the dart that is attached to this sleeve. I'm going to go ahead and top stitch. We are done doing that. I will attach it now to my dress. I'm done doing that. It came out very beautiful. So now I will mark my slit, how open I want the slit to be. I'm going to mark it like this. I mark 6 inch. I'm going to fold it. Guys, look at it. I fold it, came out very beautiful. I take the shade to the market and make button opening, and look at it. I've done attaching my button. Came out very beautiful. Guys, please, if you have watched to this extent, you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button because more videos are on the way coming. So do look at it. It's very beautiful. I love you guys. Bye. I also have a video of how to cut and sew this beautiful skirt on channel. Please do check it out.